So this little quick testimony I want to share. Um, this is back in February of 2023, and I was in Walmart, and right before I'd walked in there, I felt like the Lord was speaking to me very specifically, and He was saying that there's somebody in here that I want you to talk to. So I didn't know who it was, but I talked to somebody in the aisle and, asked them if they've ever been saved. And, we talked for a little bit, but after I was done, I just knew that that wasn't the one that the Lord wanted me to talk to, which I didn't do nothing wrong by talking to him, but that wasn't the specific one that he wanted. So then I get down to the notebook section and I find this notebook laying on one of the shelves, and I decided to walk down the aisle where they sell all of the notebooks so that I could see the price for it because I wanted to try to buy it. I ended up not getting that one. Not getting that one though, but as I was in that aisle, this woman started walking down, and she just was kind of talking to herself, and she was kind of looking at her notebooks and portfolios that she had in her cart, and she was saying she needed to find something to put her notes for her ministry in her book or something. And I looked at her and I said, "Are you a preacher?" And she said something about being one of the preachers at her church or something. So I'd asked her a question and I said, and this was very bold of me to do it because it took a lot of, I just blurted it out. I just wanted to get to the point. I said, "Well, doesn't the Bible say that women are not supposed to be preachers?" And she was like, "Well, don't you believe that we should do what the Lord tells us to do?" And I said, "Absolutely, I do." I said, "But but in the Bible, I don't think women were ever called to run the church and usurp authority over the men." And that was basically all I told her. And I was very nice and very polite about it. I didn't try to, be rude about it, but I said, "Yeah, at my church, my cousin's a preacher. He says mind the Lord all the time and just mind the Lord." And she was like, "Yes, absolutely." And so I walked away. We were very polite to each other. And I was like, "Well, I guess that was the person who the Lord wanted me to talk to." So, yeah, I ended up getting this notebook that day. And yeah, that's the cool thing about God's voice. I wasn't even trying to talk to that woman. She just kind of came to me. So there was really no pressure all that much, but I don't know why, but I just felt like the Lord wanted me to share that testimony. And that's a very controversial subject that I try not to get on the subject about, but I just definitely wanted to share that testimony with somebody who might be inspired by it.